Plus 49.
Welcome to another episode of Plus 49. I'm your host, Marlene Bacher, bringing you the latest from Germany this September. School is officially back in session across the country, while the excitement for Oktoberfest is reaching fever pitch as the world's largest folk festival kicks off this Saturday in Munich. And there is a lot happening beyond the festivities. First, Germany is grappling with a growing shortage of qualified workers. So Frankfurt and Rostock are pioneering tailored approaches to attract and retain skilled professionals. In migration news, the federal government is close to finalizing a deal with Afghanistan to streamline deportations via scheduled flights, a big shift in migration policy. On the education front, Germany remains a top destination for international students, but more graduates are leaving soon after finishing, posing a challenge for workforce sustainability. Later in the show, we hear from Rufruf, an international student from Pakistan studying in Berlin. She shares her experiences navigating culture shocks and building friendships. Plus, stay tuned for our Ask a German segment, where we explore why Germany has so many holidays, yet many don't quite know what they actually celebrate. So, let's jump right in. School is officially back in session across Germany, just as Oktoberfest preparations are about to kick off. So there's plenty going on this September. Let's take a look at the headlines shaping the week. First up, Germany's urgent quest for skilled workers is making local waves. In Frankfurt, small and medium-sized companies are stepping up recruitment efforts, exploring how to attract international specialists at a recent event hosted by the city's Welcome and Information Center and the Chamber of Commerce. While Mayor Nargis Eskandari Grünberg highlighted the social and economic benefits of global talent, about 45% of local firms still see the skills gap as a major risk. Visa issues and slow procedures remain stumbling blocks, with business leaders calling for modernized digital solutions to boost success. Meanwhile, in Rostock, firms are tackling a different problem: the brain drain to bigger cities. At the Work and Wave Fraternity Day on Warnemünde Beach, more than 40 regional employers reached out to former residents and commuters, offering attractive job options and a high quality of coastal life. From shipbuilding to healthcare, companies gave a fresh look at how location and lifestyle can help retain talent. Other headlines: the federal government is close to striking a deal with Afghanistan for more regular deportations, an ongoing turning point in migration policy. Secret negotiations with Taliban officials could soon enable easier repatriations by scheduled flights instead of special charters. On the higher education front, Germany remains a top choice for international students, though worries are mounting about graduates leaving soon after finishing their studies. The challenge? Turning a growing number of foreign students into long-term contributors as demographic change makes skilled labor even more valuable. This Saturday marks the start of Oktoberfest, the world's largest folk festival, right in the heart of Munich. If you've never been, or even if you have, here's a quick guide to what makes Oktoberfest so unique, and a few fun facts that might surprise you. Oktoberfest actually began way back in 1810 as a celebration of a royal wedding, the marriage of Crown Prince Ludwig to Princess Therese. They kicked off the party with horse races, and the locals loved it so much they turned it into an annual tradition. Despite its name, most of Oktoberfest actually happens in September, because the weather is just nicer at this time of year. Now, picture the festival grounds split into two main parts. On the west side, you'll find nearly 40 massive beer tents, each run by one of Munich's famous breweries. Here, you can enjoy specially brewed Märzen beer and classics like giant pretzels, roast chicken, and sausages. all part of the authentic Bavarian feast. On the east side, the festival turns into a fairground playground with over 100 rides and games. Everything from adrenaline pumping roller coasters to sweet nostalgia inducing carousels awaits you. So, as you can see, Oktoberfest is not just about beer, it's about fun, and that for the whole family. And here's a useful tip for visitors: there is no general entry ticket for Oktoberfest. It's free to wander the festival. However, if you want to secure a seat in one of those buzzing beer tents, especially on weekends, you will need to book a table reservation well in advance. And be careful, there are some scammers selling fake tickets at crazy prices. Also, make sure not to miss some of the festival's iconic highlights, like the towering Bavaria statue, which offers a great view over the grounds, or the historic Schichtel Theater with its quirky variety shows. There's also the thrilling Teufelsrad, a spinning wheel challenge where folks race to stay on the longest. And for sheer fun, the toboggan slide at night always guarantees plenty of laughs. When the mayor taps the first beer barrel and yells, "Otzapf's is," it's tapped, that's the official start, and the party is on. Whether you come for the food, the rides, the beer, or the atmosphere, Oktoberfest is a celebration of Bavarian spirit and tradition. So get ready to raise your Stein, sing along to live music, and simply enjoy the best time of the year. Prost! Today, we're joined by Rufruf, who's actually been asking questions a few episodes ago, but today we want to learn and hear more about your perspective on things. So, hi, Rufruf, and welcome.
Hi. Hi, Marlene. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And before we start, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you come from, and what you're doing here in Germany.
I am from Pakistan. I came to Berlin about 6 months ago, and I obviously came here as a student, and I am doing a master's in international security management at the Berlin School of Economics and Law.
Okay, and what's it been like studying in Germany?
It has been so far a very good experience, like meeting a lot of people from across the globe, a lot from like I think Berlin schools and the university cultures is very dynamic in the sense that it is open up for people from all other different countries and cultures. So it's just not oriented towards one perspective. So it's good to speak to people, and obviously studying security, you get to understand security from a lot of different perspectives in terms of global politics, and of course how people perceive security in different countries as well. So I think in that aspect it has been wonderful so far.
And you also mentioned meeting lots of people. Are there also Germans you're meeting, or is it just or mainly internationals?
Mostly internationals, very few Germans, but yes, my class does have Germans. But if you would compare, I think there are more international people than Germans so far.
Yeah, I think this is a common problem also in the first place, finding German people to connect with, and then second, actually making friends with them. So, yeah, do you have any German friends, or is it mainly international?
I think I do speak to a lot of Germans, but when you say friends, I kind of think the definition of friendship is very different in Germany compared to other countries. So I would say so. Like after 6 months, I do have one German friend who I am probably like more close to, or not close to in the sense that they would define me as a friend in comparison to me saying that. So I think yeah, I did make one close German friend who thinks I am their friend as well. So yeah, I won in particular in 6 months, which is like half a year.
I think that is a great achievement already because lots of people obviously struggle with it. And I think this is a really interesting perspective that you're talking about that Germans have a different understanding of friendship because I think so too. And I think German friendships are more. There's something you have to build up to, and that's nothing that happens in like a week or something like that. It's something that happens over a longer time period, and then usually you have a long friendship going out of it. So yeah, it's interesting how different also friendship works in different cultures.
Absolutely. It's quite different from where I come from, to be honest, because it's not like, there's like steps on how you probably would build a friendship in such a way and how it is perceived to be in Germany. But it's kind of one of the different ways on how we see like how people approach friendships. And I was told about it. I didn't believe it until I came to Berlin and saw that and actually experienced it myself. I think I would be lucky enough to say that, yeah, I was successful in doing that with one person. So, yeah, it's kind of like a culture shock as well.
Now that you already mentioned culture shock, I think it would be really interesting to go more into detail into that. But before we do that, let's take a short music break and then we'll continue our talk. So we've just been talking about the different kind of ways friendship form and how there's different steps to it and how this can be a culture shock if you come to a new country and how this has happened to Rufruf. And now I want to know a little bit more about were there other culture shocks or what were you expecting when you came to Germany that was different when you arrived?
Well, for starters, I think the culture shock was everything being closed on Sundays because coming from a South Asian country, if you need anything, probably even like at 2 a.m., you'll find something opened up. If you want to have like buy something, like there would be like this shop which you will find and you will get bread or eggs or like medicines or something. So, as a student, I think that was a bit of a culture shock, finding nothing to be open on a Sunday, and you can't forget that. And especially as a student, where you are bound to forget something on a weekday and unlikely to get your groceries done in time. And one of the other culture shocks, I don't think so I can point out any other thing except for the fact how friendships are perceived to be very different and how relationships are given a lot of thought, like who needs to be in your friend circle and how German people give a lot of thought to that. I think that's pretty different from where I come from, and how when we meet people, we're just like, it's fine, you're meeting people, but I think in Berlin, and especially Germans, do take that very seriously, and I think that's also a good thing because, in comparison, how we tend to have very big circles at the beginning and then like cut people off, it's better to actually think very carefully about who you want to be around with and what kind of people you want to be around with, and it's very good that Germans do give a lot of thought to that prior to just being friends with anybody.
Yeah, I think that those are some really interesting points. And now that you've mentioned also the dating life, which is also a very interesting point always when interviews are on the show. So maybe you can share a little bit about your experiences with this. Like, what differences have you seen in, yeah, just the way dating and everything around it goes in Germany compared to your home country?
I particularly have not explored that area too much, but I've had difficulty in terms of the finding the right platforms to do so, because a lot of things are very app oriented when you come to Berlin, unless you have a social circle to begin with. And by the time you come to a new country, of course, it's very difficult for one to start dating unless you actually have people around. So I think there's still some sort of a way to go to the for actually probably progressing in that regard. So still working on that. I guess I still have to meet a lot of people around, and I don't want to do it through the app. Not It's not that anything is wrong. I prefer like one-on-one human connection, and probably instead of talking on like a chat, I'd rather have like a discussion face to face first. So it's just a personal obviously preference. Instead, I'm not no there's no bias around it, so yeah.
No, I can totally understand. And yeah, it just might just feel more organic. Not saying that there's anything wrong with the other way, but I definitely understand your perspective. And now I want to know a little bit. We've talked about culture shocks, but were there also some challenges when you came here? Like, do you have any problems with the language or in general adapting to the German culture? What were the biggest challenges you would say?
I think as a student, because I had experience living in the UK, arriving in a country where, of course, you don't know the language, which of course partly is that I need to put the effort on my part. The other thing is the whole, the bureaucratic system in terms of getting your amendum done. I think those are the things like people really need to be aware of when they're coming in, because it becomes very hectic, because you really need an address, you really need to get your bank account done. I think these are the things that become not become a problem is something, because you're not used to it and you're not aware of the system, can become a little challenging when you're settling in, you're trying to manage how you're going to get to from one place to the other, because you don't know how the public transport works and all of these things. So yeah, the system around getting your documentations right, which includes your city registration, your health insurance, and getting your bank account sorted. I think these are the things which make it a little more challenging than probably another country.
I can definitely see that. Bureaucracy is a big topic here in Germany, and yeah, it's not the best. Let's let's leave it at that. So, we've been talking about dating and friendships, and there's another category I would say that's really important when talking about Germany, and that is the food, because this is where a lot of people have problems with German food, I would say. We've had a lot of questions on Ask a German about it, for example, on Abendbrot or Milchreis. There's just been a lot of questions about it. So, what has been your experience with German food, and do you have a favorite dish here?
In terms of German food, to be honest, the most I have had so far is doner, and I've survived on that for 6 months. Had a lot of bread, but at one point, because obviously, for the last 28 years, I've had like a lot of like what I've grown up with, and I would say it's a comforting food and it's very quick and efficient. But you still go back to your roots and you still prepare it. So I would say I would like to balance it out, and yet I do not have something which is I can call my favorite German food. I hope I do find something in the next few months.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of time still to find your favorite food. And as you're growing, it's also switching all the time. For me, when I grew older, I just came to appreciate Abendbrot because it's like a quick evening meal. And when I was younger, I used to hate it because it's so boring and it's just bread, basically. But now I can appreciate it. I'm not saying it's my favorite food, but it has its perks.
Of course, it is. Like, I think you can't go hungry in Berlin so far, because you will find something after every two steps. And that's the best part. You don't have to think too much about it, or, have put a lot of effort on, oh, what you're going to have this evening. So I think that's efficiency comes in everything, which is German. And I think food is one of the categories that it needs to be efficient. It's about filling your stomach. Yes, it's about taste buds, but you get going on. And I think I really appreciate that about it, because a lot sometimes back home we spend a lot of time, our mothers in the morning start worrying about, oh, what do we cook today? And that's like a point of discussion which goes crazy, and they get angry at us for not telling them. So I think efficiency in getting your meals done at the most convenient and obviously cost effective way that it's affordable for everybody. I think I would it's kudos in that regard.
Yeah, as I said, I came to appreciate it now too, and I guess we're just effectiveness over everything here
Yeah.
in Germany. And one last question I have. This is another topic again. For the students planning on maybe studying abroad in Germany, do you have any advice for them?
I would say first, like you're coming to a new country where English is not the medium of instruction. Do put in the effort, because it's your responsibility to integrate. Learn the language, at least get it to the extent that you're able to communicate on a daily basis. Of course, not on a professional basis, because it takes time to come to that level. Because a lot of people do not know how to communicate in English, and it's not something that you can hold them responsible for. It's a very proud thing, that people hold their language to be that important, and I think one of the things is to learn the language. Second, obviously get make sure that your documentation is in the right order, so it doesn't take a lot of time, because no matter what, even if the system is slow, it is still efficient. You missing out on a paper is your fault. It's not going to be anybody else's fault. So two of my first and second most important things would be language and getting your documentations right, something that is entirely your responsibility.
We're back in our last part. And Rufruf, I want to know, how long do you actually plan to stay in Germany? Like, how long is your study program going? And is there a future for you here in Germany, or do you plan to travel to other countries as well?
So my course is for about 2 years, but I do plan on staying in Germany, hopefully for many years to come in. I do plan on working, and I do plan on obviously integrating by learning the language and everything. So yeah, my long term plan is to work and live in Germany. Hopefully travel while staying in Germany. I've still visited like a few places, wonderful, but I would like hopefully to make a like a new settled home in Berlin for some like in a few years.
And you said you arrived around 6 months ago, right? So that would be, yeah, the end of winter, but you've never really experienced a Berlin winter. So do you think
No.
you're ready for that?
I think I am. I am actually. I've been told that yes, it gets very grey, but I'm very excited for it because I don't do very well in the summer. So I think I'm the odd one out in this one, and I do look forward to wearing all the nice, sweaters and cardigans and the long coats. So I'm actually very excited, and I don't. I know people are not, but hopefully I'll survive this winter with a smile.
That's nice to hear, actually, that you're going into it this positive thinking. And to be honest, it's not that bad. I mean, yeah, of course, when the sun is out and you just see that all the people suddenly have a better attitude somehow, but it's still not that bad in winter. So keep your positive attitude about it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
And you said you've already visited some other places in Germany, but do you still plan to stay in Berlin? So what makes Berlin so special for you?
I think Berlin is very diverse. It can offer a lot of opportunities, and I have met a lot of people who work in amazing sectors and in innovative areas. So in that regard, I think Berlin is the hub where everybody wants to come in, and I've gotten the opportunity to already be here. So I would want to make the most of it in terms of that. And I think Berlin is beautiful, so I love sitting near the cathedral and the Atlas Museum. I think that's one of my favorite spots to go. It really refreshes my mind, and I don't think so I would be moving anytime soon from Berlin anywhere else in Germany.
I think this is a really nice note to go out on. So I want to thank you for doing this interview with us. It's been really fun and nice to have this insight into, yeah, the experiences of a student in Germany. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely. Thank you.
Plus 49. Ask a German.
I would like to ask, why do you have so many holidays on everything on a weekday once you've had it? Like, I understand, but why do you want to take an off on everything that has happened? So because it disrupts the entire flow of the week. Like, why do you want to like take it off in the middle of the week when you already have one? So why do you like, why is that organized in such a way?
Germany is known for its many public holidays. Some states enjoy up to 13 or even 14 days off per year, while others have fewer. Most of these holidays have Christian origins, such as Easter, Christmas, Ascension Day, and Pentecost. Besides these, there are nationally recognized secular holidays like Labor Day on May 1st and German Unity Day on October 3rd. However, each federal state also decides on additional holidays, leading to significant regional differences. For instance, Bavaria and Baden-Württemberg have some of the most public holidays, while Berlin, Bremen, Hamburg, and Lower Saxony have fewer. Despite enjoying these breaks, surveys show that many Germans are unclear about the meaning behind many holidays. Less than half of the population today belong to the major churches, as religious affiliation declines and immigration diversifies beliefs. This creates an interesting dynamic. Many people observe public holidays without personally relating to their religious or historical origins. So, the question arises, in a multicultural society, should Germany continue to honor mainly Christian holidays? Well, some advocate for introducing floating holidays or more flexible holiday options to accommodate people of diverse religious backgrounds, so they can celebrate their own important days. Others suggest converting fixed public holidays into additional individual vacation days, allowing everyone to choose which days to take off based on personal or cultural reasons. While this approach enhances inclusiveness and personal freedom, critics warn it may weaken the sense of community built around shared holidays. Debates about the number of holidays also include economic perspectives. Some argue reducing holidays could boost productivity and contribute billions to the economy, while others point to the important social and mental health role of holidays as collective downtime. In Germany, silent days like Good Friday have special restrictions reflecting religious traditions, even as society modernizes. And some regions keep unique holidays linked to local culture and history, like the Peace Festival in Augsburg or Reformation Day in eastern states. Ultimately, rethinking Germany's holiday calendar is a complex balancing act, requiring respect for tradition, inclusion of new social realities, and attention to economic and cultural impacts. As society evolves, so too will conversations about how best to align holidays with the country's changing identity. That's it for today's episode of Plus 49. Thanks so much for tuning in and spending your time with us. We hope you enjoyed diving into this week's news, getting a taste of Oktoberfest, and hearing from Rufruf about her journey as an international student in Berlin. Don't forget to join us next time for more insights, stories, and those ever popular Ask a German questions that keep you connected to life here in Germany. If you like the show, please share it with a friend and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or radio streams. And if you have questions or topics you want us to cover, just reach out. We love hearing from you. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and enjoy all these colors and sounds of this beautiful September. Goodbye.